Hello there, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be building a perspective build, which is really cool. It's something that I've really wanted to do for a long time. If you're in the in a Discord server called The Bakery, which is this big build server, I often see a lot of people doing perspective builds, which are basically you can only see it from one perspective. On this channel recently I've been trying out lots of different ways of building that I've never really tried out before, and it's a cool way and it's really good for learning, and I've learned a lot of teachable moments from this that I can bring into my regular building style and I can use in lots of different areas, which are really cool. And in this video I learned quite a lot, and the end product was actually astonishing even by my standards, which you are looking at right now, although I can't show you the whole thing, otherwise you might click off, because like, you know, this is what you've seen so far, but the full thing is even cooler. So yeah, I won't spoil too much because I'm actually really proud of this. You should totally perceive the like and subscribe button. Now, I think one of my favorite things about learning to build in different styles is the way that I don't really watch any tutorials or anything that explains how to do them. Now, let me explain this. Basically, this here is what is called a perspective build. From this angle, it looks really good, but from this angle, I mean, it probably won't look terrible, but it will look different. It will look strange, and it looks a lot more like spread out than it would from here. And that's what I want to kind of try today. A lot of these builds I've seen other people do, but I have no clue how to make them myself. So the first thing I did was I drew up some concept art, which I might show you right now, which I hope looks very good. Well, I think it looks good. I like it. I threw it together very quickly. It's not like colored or anything, because I can do that all in the Minecrafty thing once I'm done with the building process. And I decided to go for like this semi-futuristic feel, but then also like degraded. So it's like there was once a futuristic civilization that collapsed, and now you're looking through the ruins of it. Trillions of years in the future, hopefully. But yeah, and I kind of want to do a build similar to that beauty over there. Not exactly the same, but you know, the same type of lots and lots of candles and white and that kind of cool structure, but then mixing in some greenery too. Like the white and green is a really nice combination. Learned that from B-dubs. Haven't used it in a really long time. Coming back to use it because I think I can use it better now. But as you can see here, I thought a lot about the line of sight that you're using. I want this to be the main center point because this is rule of thirds. Oftentimes, a lot of builders and hermit crafters and people who are in that space, they often think about these lines of sight, and frankly, it's something I always forget to do. So that's what I'm doing today. I'm trying to like drill it into my brain. I have thought about it with some of my builds in the past, but none here, none in this world. Because I'm silly and I forget these things, especially with this build. It's one big triangle. It doesn't add up to anything. Hopefully, though, this build will create a really cool thumbnail shot that I can just throw my player in here somewhere, and then I can just go, yay, look at this. This is fun. You like this build? Yes, and also, you've no. Funny enough, this probably whole area here took as much time as it took me to get the size of my screen correct on these blocks. It didn't. It took a lot longer, but like this was surprisingly difficult. I kept messing it up. But yeah, okay. So we've got the basic idea of where everything's going to go now. I don't want to waste your time much longer, so let's get into the building process. Okay, so I did a couple more texture and detail changes now, and I just want to show you and bring you through them right now. I was completely wrong about that. It's not texture or detail changes at all. That was a bit of a silly comment. I have no idea why I said that. Anyways, this is what I've done now, and I've basically brought this line all the way back here so you can see this giant structure in the distance. It's a little different. It's a little confusing. It's a little... I don't know how to explain this. I've spread it out a lot more from that original starting point. As you can see, it's a lot longer now. And this one back here, if I go back into creative mode, this one back here is being pushed a lot forward too, and I might need to bring that to around there so you have even distribution. Although I don't think it matters too much, as if these are in the foreground, that's in the middle ground, and that would be in the background. I'm going to need to do some stuff to cover up the sides so you can't see anything weird. But yeah, this is the view I want you to be able to see from. And I can try out lots of different things to get the perfect position on this. But yeah, I really like the shape of this. I did it in concept art beforehand. Then I tried to get the shape right in blocks, and I kept making it bigger and bigger. And until it was like, that's the original size of the like line that was back there. And I realized, okay, this is actually going to be the size that I need to do for this. I really like the shape of it. It's a very organic and unique shape. So I'm really excited to build it, and it's not going to be a flat image, don't worry. Although I don't know if I'll make it full, because it's only this perspective we're worrying about that. I'll figure out when I get around to it. If I have time in the end, I'll make it a full image, but for now, I just want to worry about the perspective that you can see, so that I can just, not worry about too much and get most of it done. The next thing we will be working on, though, is this bottom floor bit, I think. Getting the environment where everything's going to be is probably the best idea. First, obviously, I'm going to be using Axiom to do this rather than by hand, because that would literally take months if well, not months, less than months, but probably it would take like the 2 or 3 weeks if I was going to do it by hand. But I need to do it in a day, so Axiom is a massive tool to help me with that. I am partially glad I'm not a survival builder, although it is sometimes a lot funner because you get to resource gather. Also, I know you're wondering one thing, it's why are my eyes so expressive? And I used to do this on my channel, and I'm kind of unsure about whether I do it or not. I like this expressive eyes mod. It does have glitches every now and then, as you probably just saw with the line across my face. But most of the time, it gives me these bright, flashy eyes where I get to talk and I look around back and forth. I quite like it. It looks very fun. I think they've updated it now to look even better when I'm looking around, because in the past it had some issues on it. But I really like it. So I'm going to switch between using it and not using it during this video, so that you guys can like say in the comments whether you like it, whether I should not. And maybe I'll put like a post on my Discord, which is you should totally join, by the way. It's in the description. Yeah, I might put a post on my Discord saying expressive eyes or no expressive eyes. Also, like and subscribe. I don't think I said that yet. Do that. Yada yada. Yay. Yahoo! That was not an impression of Mario. I repeat, that was not an impression of Mario. The more I'm building with perspective, like based ideas, the more I'm realizing stuff about how this sort of building works. And what I'm realizing right now is that it's not built like a 3D image. It's built like a 2D one. And when you build, like when you draw in 2D, or when you do, especially for me, I was doing graphic design for a lot of my life before I went into Minecraft building, there are layers to things. Now, right now, from this, and this is the only angle I care about. Any other angle, if it looks weird, that so be it. I can't do anything about that. Leave it be. So this is actually really, really far away from this point. But what I want to do is I want to make it look like it's just behind it, just behind those rocks. So now when I click like that, everything looks like it clicks into place. It looks like it's sitting on a little mantle up there, which I think works really, really well. It also means I can put an absolutely insane amount of detail into this and look like it's still pretty close to this. Like, they look like they're a good distance. They're not too far apart, but in reality, they're the furthest apart of all of them. So let's see how this goes. I'm not done with this environment yet. As you can see, it's still very much a work in progress. I haven't even textured it yet, but yeah, but I think I've learned some more stuff about this, and hopefully I'm on the right path to making something really good. Probably doesn't look like I've done a whole lot since we last were talking, but basically I've been working on this view a little more. I changed up the rock formation here, and that's kind of one thing I really want to talk about. I think this whole thing, I've colored everything, and I've also worked in this environment for a really long time, and it might just be a me thing, but I just really wanted to smooth this whole thing out so that it looked a lot nicer and a lot more realistic. And there are certain areas that I do want to figure out more and make it look better, just like things that look too cubic or whatever. I want to change that up, just make it look as good as it possibly can look, although from this angle you're not going to see a whole lot of it. Now, the one thing I do really like is this rock formation up here. It's like everything feels like it has its own segment, and it builds up really well. I just really love the shape of this. Took a little while to get it right, but when it did, I was like, I really love this. And then I brought a little rock down here to connect those two up. I think they connect really well. I can't remember if I'd coloured this in, but yeah, this is what it looks like now. It's got a good shape. I've got a good width to it now. It looks very thick. It kind of looks like a sword from far away. Like this would be the hilt of a sword, but and then the blade would be coming down here. But no, it's just a building, just a building. I really like this up here. I want to do some stairs and things to make it a little more detailed. But from far away, it looks pretty nice. Yeah, it should still look something like that in the end. But yeah, I think that viewpoint looks really nice. You've got a lot in the foreground. Maybe there's some more I can put in this little yellow area down here. Because just focusing on this image right now, we've got this whole area is filled up with these two rocks. That area is filled up there. This is the only area with some dead space, but hopefully that will look nicer when I've got some flowers and grass in here. I won't need to detail everything, but I'll try to detail as much as you can see, because this is really, as I mentioned before, this is the only thing that we care about. And if I have time, I might add some custom clouds, although it might look weird with the already placed clouds that we've got in. Not placed, modded clouds, whatever you want to call them. Yeah, I think that's a really cool viewpoint. All right, I'm gonna stop jabbering on now. Bye. Okay, welcome back. I've actually forgot to turn off this eye thing because I like it so much. So maybe it will just be these eyes for the rest of the video. They look a lot better than the last time I used them, or I might just be going crazy. Anyways, I textured a lot and done a lot of detailing here, and I want to talk about this area now. Now, I know I've done a lot of work since the last time that I showed you things, and I want to go for this like ethereal kind of like otherworldly presence with this. This is from above. It looks very strange, obviously, and it's a very weird angle from behind because you've got all these like light grains or like light streaks in the grass. And what I'm trying to emulate here is like I'm imagining light is coming from this direction. So you've got all these like almost what's it called, highlights. There we go. I found the word eventually. So you've got highlights on the edge of the grass, and that kind of helps bring other layers and helps like separate the different areas, adds a little weight to the different parts. I need to add some up there, but although let's be honest, I don't think you're going to be seeing much of it. If I go back to FOV3, because this is the FOV30, sorry, this is the view that you're going to be looking at. I think a lot of this first area is done now. I have added some stuff that isn't necessary so you can see it from different angles. But I've added like a tree up there in the top right, so maybe I have to. Maybe there's a better way I can do that, but I don't think it looks too bad. It was supposed to, it makes this tree look a lot bigger and it adds like some depth if you look at those two. Although they're a lot closer than they look, that adds a little like depth to it or strength. And I want to do some like trees along the bottom. It's going to super zoomed in, but I want to do some trees along here that are very, very small, maybe just like fences or whatever, but they look like trees so that it looks even bigger from this viewpoint and those things look even further away. And I'm not 100% sure on how I do that, but that could look pretty cool. Another thing I want to try out is I'm doing floating rocks here, and I've tried some stuff out, like to put this rock forward, even though it's just slight, makes it look a little bigger when it's in between, and just spacing it all properly, that sort of thing. I might try and make this rock have like a split in it or a floating segment too, because I think that looks really cool and it could make the environment feel really unique rather than just like a basic environment. We've got like a bit of a touch of my own energy and whatever into it. That's not textured yet, but yeah, I've got these two left to do, and obviously just lots of environmental touch-ups, and I'll take you through the journey of that while we get onto these next bits. What if instead of doing like a cutaway gag, I just tell you to subscribe because I want it? Well, I've been working on this top section and this whole base as a whole, and obviously I've chosen these two colors for these sections, and it isn't really detailed yet, as you can probably tell. But I've been working on this top section up here, and I thought this looked really cool. Placing, obviously when you come up close to it, it doesn't look great, but when you just even go this far away, you get this cool effect where it looks like a glimmer, and especially when you're all the way down there, this gives off this effect of like there's a bright glow from the inside, and it looks really, really sick. And I've done some texturing on it to add that effect also on, which really does help. And all these like complicated shapes from far away, well, not even that from that far away, from like here, you can sort of see they all come together, and it looks surprisingly close to what I did in the original drawing, which I'm kind of surprised about, although it is different, and in some bits it's even more complicated, which I'm shocked about. But this looks really cool. I really love this design, and honestly it's starting to come together really well. Let me show you what it looks like from all the way down here. This is something interesting actually. I was told it recently. If you go F3 and N, you can switch into spectator mode, and if you scroll up on the scroll wheel, you can go really fast, which I've been playing Minecraft for so many years, and I only found that out recently, which feels like a lot of stuff. So yeah, this is the view that we've got so far. This is what it's going to look like. We just have to get it kind of right, try and make it like fit as much in as possible. Yes, that's the view, and I quite like that. I've still got to do, there's a couple of things that I want to do, and one of them is that around the back here, I'm thinking about doing like a like rocks or cliffs or something. I don't know how I'm going to do that, but basically there's a line of sight here that isn't used. It's completely empty below this region, and if I did that behind the thing here, that would help bring everything together and help finish that off, make it look like there's something in the actual horizon. So I'm going to have to figure that out, and I'm going to do that after I have finished the tower, which is the next thing that I'm going to try and do. I've got a couple ideas, but overall this might take a while because I want to get this looking as good as possible. And I think I am done with all the details there. Let me show you around. Let me give you an idea of what we actually did now. Basically, I've got a lot to show you. I've got a lot of ideas, and I got a lot of bits that I really like. I know I've already shown you this bit up here, but I've added some goofy lines around here, kind of Doom-like. I keep on referencing Doom. I like it. It's based off that one, which is then based off Doom. It's a long story. Anyways, I tried to make these arrows in it too, so you've got lots of arrows pointing upwards, hopefully fixating your eyes on this. Now, Although this whole area looks very cool, the main bit I want to show you is this window here. It's got a lot of layers on it, as you can probably tell. I've tried to keep it as close to the wall as possible, but I quite like this window. I think it looks really cool. There's a lot going on. I tried to make it look like a star, almost like it was a star window, and then I was originally going for like a colorful backdrop, but because of all the white, the black ended up looking really cool, and it silhouetted it really well. We just come behind here. It's like you can see that there's not really much going on here either. I've trapped myself now. I have to find a way out. Where is it? Where's a way out for me? Where's Bradley's way out? There's Bradley's way out. I am out now. The only thing I have left to do on this tower is now to texture it, and I can show you again what it looks like from afar. The whole shot is not done yet. I've still got to do some backdrops. I've got to do some other ideas, but it's coming together. We've got this shot is coming together, and it's starting to look really cool, especially when everything's put into perspective. Now, I like this. Maybe if I were to look at it like this for the first time, I'd be like, I could never create something like that. Or I could turn around and I could say something like, this looks incredible. But right now, when I look at this, because I know all the work that's gone into it in each individual segment, I don't like it very much. I mean, I do like it. It's not terrible, but it's not it's not like I'm amazed at it. And sometimes, very, very rarely, I'll make something and I'll be like, oh, I'm really fond of that. That's like my favorite thing. That's really cool. But for this here, I feel kind of, I don't know. I guess I feel kind of, I don't know what I feel. This is a weird one again. I guess I'm getting too like serious about this, but yeah, I don't know. This build is good. This build is cool, but it's not groundbreaking for me. Okay, so I haven't started texturing it yet, but we've got the backdrop there. That's what it's going to look like. And if we sit down here and I just position it just right, we should be able to see. There we go. You don't really see the edges that much, and especially when you're going to be looking back from all the way back here, you won't see anything, which is really the view that matters. And I know I keep on saying that, but it's like I have to make sure you understand my silly way of doing this. But yeah, I think that fills in the review really well. And the thing about putting glass in front of it too to give it that faded effect that you sometimes see in mountains. And I think that with it thickened on the side in some areas, and I think I will have to thicken it out some more, especially in areas like over there. That's probably going to need something right there because that's feeling a little empty. But for most of it, it feels very stony. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go in and I'm going to texture that in Axiom, and then we'll have a good backdrop. Then I can try out some stuff with glass and things to see if I can get that faded effect, which I don't know if that will look good, but hopefully I can make something neat with that. With that, everybody, we have the final result. I think this looks really nice. I mean, I did do the environment at the end, right? And if we fly above, I can show you that just now. It's pretty well textured. But the thing that really brings us together are these two planes of glass. I realized that I kind of needed to add these in because these like stones were merging too much into the backdrop. But with these glass things in there, it kind of adds a lot more depth. So as you can see with this structure here, it's in this middle section, and then the environment is behind this one, and it gives off the effect like it's, I don't know how to explain it. It's like the background's a lot further away because of like a fog effect. It just works really well. I really like that. It looks so cool, and I can set it to anything. I did actually try a bunch of weird ideas too, but I think this one worked the best. I really this is one of my best builds, I think. Like just that middle like tower, I really love the design of that tower, but everything just comes together so nicely, and I think that's so cool. Actually, I know what we're missing. First of all, the clouds disappear when behind glass, which I didn't realize like at all. I've always thought you could see them outside of glass, so I guess they disappear when they're behind glass, which is a bit of a bug. What we could use actually is with some like birds in the sky and maybe custom clouds, although that might be a little difficult. I'm gonna see how long I've got left on my day. But I'm gonna start on the birds and then I'll get back to you if it looks good. Sorry I'm like cutting in. This is supposed to be like the final clip, but I just realized, boom, I just had a ton of ideas. So I kind of have to try that and add some movement to the image. I'm not even kidding. This video was originally planned to be 10 minutes long. Okay, yep, that looks a million times better. I think that looks amazing with the clouds and the birds in there. Everything feels so full. This might be one of my favorite builds. And let me just return my field of view back to normal. I can probably delete this red square now because I have a good idea of where everything's going to go. It's going to look a little out of place in my testing board, I'm going to be honest. and everything else is like a regular, usual thing. I'm going to turn up my speed so I can get around pretty quickly. Yes, let's see how out of place this actually does end up looking. Well, most of it isn't in field of view, but let's say if it was in field of view, does it look a little out of place? That's all right. It's not too terrible. They kind of look like two separate objects, but yeah, I'm fine with that. I'm gonna have to remove some of these yellow bits that I haven't, where the wool used to be. But yeah, that looks really beautiful, doesn't it? I really love these clouds. One trick I did end up doing was I added a little bit of a gradient on here using fence gates, which I've never done before. But I think that looks really lovely. That's like a little purple hint to the clouds, and it just works really well. You can sort of see it there. It's very subtle, but I really like that. It's just this is such a cool build. I don't know what I should name it. Actually, if you guys have any ideas for names, put it in the comments. I put a sign by and everything with your name on it. If it's a cool name, like I don't know, Steve, I'll give you like a cool idea and I'll place down a sign here and I name the build and things. But yeah, this is a really cool world. I think standing at this precise location and like maybe zooming in a bit, uh, it just yeah, it gives like this cool impression. I mean, maybe if I didn't have all the glass there, this would look a lot more like I'm about to enter the area, or if I was, standing in the right position at least. But yeah, this looks really lovely. I really like a lot of what we've done today, a lot of what we've made. These are some of the coolest builds that I've ever done, especially this one. This design back here, I didn't spend a lot of time talking about it, but man, I love this so much. I ended up drawing, I don't know if I probably showed it at the beginning of the video, but I did some concept art for this and I loved it. And I was like, all right, let me try and replicate this in Minecraft. And the fact that it replicated so well shocks me, but I really love this. I've never done perspective builds like this before, and I don't know if I'll do them in the future, but there's so many interesting things you can do with them. And imagine doing a semi-perspective build. That's what I'm considering at the moment. What could be a really cool build to make would be a semi-perspective build. And that would be basically a build that everything makes sense, but you're forced to see it from a specific perspective. So we wouldn't be able to do things like glass because you'd be moving around quite a bit, but you'd be forced to see things from a specific perspective so that when you walk up to the base, things like that, which are really far away, they just like open and that you can tell where they are. And the whole journey up to the build is choreographed and like made to make sure everything you see is like perfectly placed, which is quite interesting. I think that's called forced perspective, actually, but I've never done it on a build before. Obviously, this place does look a little weird if you run through it because you've got like small trees back here, which really aren't trees. They're just like a bunch of thrown together things. And same here, these are supposed to look like trees when they aren't actually. They're just like they're basically like fake silhouettes. But yeah, that's what I've done today. I really hope you guys enjoyed. Please like and subscribe. Please come back for another video. Oh, stop side-eyeing. Look at the camera. There we go. So yeah, please come back for another video. Like and subscribe. Join the Discord. We have lots of fun there. And well, I don't know what else I can say, but bye-bye.